Welcome to Recapping Movie Explained. I'll show you an action horror movie today. Spoilers for the Lair are ahead, so proceed with caution. A text describing a bombing attack in 2017 opens the movie. The text reveals that the American military dropped a massive non-nuclear bomb on a far-off insurgent province. But there's more to it than meets the eye. What we're about to see is the real reason why the bombing of a squad of fighters took place. Captained by pilots, when some missiles suddenly approach Kate, the pilots attempt to defend themselves by using countermeasures, but it is to no use. One of the missiles hits Kate's jet, which causes her to reflect on past experiences with her family back home. A teammate saves Kate as she collides with the ground, but soon after, a squad of militants with firearms come. When Kate's partner tries to shoot at the insurgents while asking her to pretend to be dead, he is fatally wounded, continues to pretend to be dead in order to fool the militants, killing two of them in the process. One insurgent charges Kate with his sword, but her friend, who still has some life in him, shoots him down. Kate bids her teammate farewell and attempts to radio for help, but there is no reply. It turns out that one of the insurgents survived the battle and has been reunited with his teammates. The insurgents find Kate and attack her with their weapons, but she shoots back and refuses to submit despite being attacked. Extremely large numbers when Kate runs out of ammunition while trying to combat her foes and manages to hit a few targets. She is forced to enter a hidden tunnel entrance in order to flee the rebels. Tensions escalate as Kate tries to dodge her foes after some exploration of the cave, which actually turns out to be some sort of bunker. Kate pulls out one of her glow sticks and examines the cave. When Kate enters a mysterious room, she discovers a decomposing body. When Kate notices this, she is perplexed. She looks about the room and discovers a piece of paper with some written Russian. When the insurgents arrive at the lab, they are shocked to see the bodies inside the pods. Kate uses this opportunity to surprise the insurgent, defeating him and stealing his weapon to defend herself. The insurgents then attack Kate and accidentally break one of the pods, causing the body inside to fall out. After dodging the gunfire and finding a vent, Kate chooses to go inside. The fallen body suddenly awakens and is discovered to be a vicious monster. It murders one of the insurgents and feasts on his flesh. In the meantime, Kate is captured by an insurgent, but she uses a flare to escape. Kate kicks the insurgent repeatedly until he lets go, but then the monster appears and slashes him to death with a single blow. Shocked and confused, Kate flees the scene and narrowly escapes the monster by exiting the cave, but she also sustains injuries. Kate shoots the monster with a rifle, but that isn't enough to kill it, so she ties a chain around the doors to trap it inside. Kate tries to find her way to safety as her injuries worsen, but time starts to run out, and suddenly a team of American soldiers find Kate. The insurgent known as Beatty confronts Kate, but immediately flees after witnessing the monster, and they disclose that they came here to find her. The locket and hard drive are removed from Kate's body after a crooked soldier conducts a thorough search of it. When Kate begs the team to leave this province, the soldiers don't take her seriously and transport her to their camp instead. The Major meets with Kate, and it is revealed that Beatty was captured by the American soldiers. The Major is informed by Kate of the Russian bunkers and the terrible monster, but he ignores her since he finds it absurd. Kate is convinced that what she witnessed was real, but the Major belies her by claiming she has no military background. That's when Sergeant Hook appears and stands up for Kate, but even then the Major ignores her counsel. Later, Kate confronts Soldier Cornrow for taking her necklace, but she attempts to pretend unaware that Hook has arrived and cornered Soldier Cornrow to return Kate's locket. Despite the fact that the Major wasn't particularly cordial with Kate, now chats to her and makes an effort to reassure her that she is in excellent hands. Kate wants to know more about Hook. The Major opens a letter addressed to him and displays indications of concern after Savi claims that he lost two of his soldiers in battle as a result of his own carelessness. This causes the Major to Engagement with Kate. Kate asks Beatty to speak up because he also solved the monster while being treated for her injuries by the doctor, but the doctor informs her that Birdie doesn't know any English. Hook then enters the tent and wants to speak with Kate about what she witnessed in the bunkers. Nobody seems to understand the Russian text that Kate saw in the lab because she has a photographic memory, but when Birdie, who is bilingual in English and Russian, speaks up, Beatty explains that the text translates to "do not open" and argues that the Soviets were the ones who were behind everything Kate saw. The major is being given a voluntary discharge, so if he decides to use the hard drive that Kate found as leverage against the colonel outside. The soldiers are keeping a watch for any insurgents, but Hook appears to be the monsters waking up from their slumber, and they break out of their pods. The monsters are also able to open locked doors, and they make their way outside the bunker. The soldiers attempt to stop the monsters from breaking into their camp in a tense sequence. The major learns about the attack and orders his soldiers to kill the monsters, but it will take more bullets to take them down. The monsters eventually break into the camp, and things get even worse when one of them enters the major's tent. The major tries AI shooting the monster, but he runs out of bullets, so if he succeeds, the monster will be killed. Saves Kate by severing the monster's luscious tongue and stabbing it to death, but things quickly get worse as more soldiers are slain by the verbal invasion, and even the major battles against the monster. Thus Kate now joins Hook and the other survivors, other soldiers to follow suit. Hook begs Kate to remain with the crew inside the elevator rather than assisting her. Soldier Cornmo battles the monster but eventually prevails and kills it with a fire extinguisher. Unfortunately, another monster appears and kills her before Hook can reach her. The British soldier loses his grip on the door as he lets go of it due to exhaustion. He then charges the monsters with a grenade and sets off a huge explosion within the bunker. Hook manages to hide from the blast while all the closest monsters are dead. The vehicle then begins to move, to be pulled down into the bunker since Kate and the others are now being attacked by monsters stacked up on the elevator, and the doctor is unable to defeat the rebels and must thus submit to them. Fortunately for Kate, she is able to exit the lift just in time before the accident and is reunited with Cook. Beatty goes off against a monster and finds that it is actually his dad who has been genetically enhanced, but Sumi is killed by it. The vehicle eventually slides down into the bunker. The survivors noticed a jet nearby, so they managed to escape the bunker with the help of Kate and Hook, who killed the militants attacking the doctor. Kate, Hook, and the doctor survive the explosion, and Kate reveals that Soldier Cornrow managed to hand over the hard drive to her before sacrificing herself. The movie ends with the survivors trying to drive away to safety, but they run into problems with the car. This is Daniel Recap King Movie Channel. Enjoy your day and keep secure.